It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us here on 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Next to me, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. And it is Magic basketball tonight as the Orlando Magic go up against the Boston Celtics in Boston. Taking a look at the Celtics, they lost Game 1 in this matchup earlier this season. They'll see them 4 times in all, looking to even the series with a win tonight. And the Boston Celtics, stockpiling assets and players in recent years, a great coach in Brad Stevens. Does this team have what it takes to control the East, Shaq?
You know, depth can only get you so far, Ernie. In my opinion, I still think they need multiple superstars to really compete for a title. But they play hard every night, but they're still 1, 2, 3, 4 superstars away.
Wow, 4? That's a
Four.
whole team.
Nobody has 4 superstars.
Well, if they get a big 4, they will definitely win.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
I bet if any team had a big 4, they get good. I'd say this, Ernie, that combined with the new guys that they've got, I think that overall they are right where they need to be. They might be 1 player away. I don't know about 3, 4, 5, but just 1 player away from being a championship.
They need a big 3 or 4.
Thanks for joining us. We will now go courtside. Kevin Harlan has the call.
Hungry for a win against an Eastern Conference rival. The Orlando Magic are ready for this thing to get started. And as we start the weekend here on this Friday night, 2K Sports welcoming you to NBA basketball. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and our sideline reporter is the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And wouldn't you know it, our good friend KG, Kevin Garnett, has come by to say hello and join us. Kevin, great to see you.
K-Hall, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm glad you're here.
It's good to see you, man.
You ready to go?
Oh, I'm always ready. What's up?
All right. The Celtics make a quick stop here in front of their Boston fans just 1 game before heading back out. They've got to feel like, guys, they have an opportunity to rack up some wins over the next stretch of their schedule. You know, they'll be playing a lot of games in their own building.
And they need to play much better tonight than they did in the first game. This is the second of 4 games between them this season, so a team they'll face often, they want to keep it competitive.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a chance for them to make a statement tonight. They're looking to bounce back and answer back.
Now the starting group for Orlando. The big men are Gordon and Vucevic. Fournier and Ross, they're the wings. And it's Payton in at the 5. And stolen by Payton. And up the court come the Magic on the break. And slam dunk by Vucevic.
And how about the way Vucevic leaps off the floor? I mean, showing no respect or remorse when he attacks the rim.
Really crisp, intelligent passing to make that basket possible.
Celtics on D. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of Miami.
Yeah, we saw no matter what they tried offensively, the opponent just had the answer.
Yeah, they sure did. Seemed like they had them completely figured out. Hammered them with their aggressive defense throughout the game.
And it's Gordon finishing it off.
And when Gordon is launched and in the air like that, he's a mesmerizing guy to keep an eye on and just get out of the way.
Great way to see the alley-oop. That replay courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Picked by Horford. Irving kicks to Hayward. Inside, Brown. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Brown's got his first basket of the night. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud today, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
Here's Gordon. Following the basket by Marcus Morris. Gordon kicks to Vucevic. Will it go? And it's good on the layup. Vucevic has got his second basket of the night. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. Things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
And the first one drops. And both free throws good for Ross. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You know, you got to do progressions where right after the game you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. You know, when we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Do. Brian Du, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you know, you practice, but after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
The reason Peyton has a promising future in this league is because he's a stat sheet stuffer. He does it all.
Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
You know, Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other, so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here, to the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense. Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. And that's how that felt.
Once again, off the mark, Orlando.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Yeah, I like the fact, Greg, that he crowded the shooter there, made him uncomfortable, got into his airspace a bit. It looked like he forced the shot.
Here's Peyton. 14 points from him the last game against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You open up yourself to try to, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you're very cordial. And, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had the chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil is super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, shout out to Doc, and I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us, never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C-Web was kind of, he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. Yeah. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off or showcase it.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like,
yeah,
oh, my God.
But look at what happened,
bring the
right?
ball up.
And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is that such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. Just say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed in which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, if you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
No good from space.
Yeah, good interior D there prevents the deuce.
And, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
Now here's Smart looking for his first basket still in this one. Here's Yabusele. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did.
Which I did.
Yes.
And, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And when you watch Marcus Smart, you can see just how strong he can be on the defensive end. Why do you think, KG, he is such an impactful defender?
Marcus Smart, he rarely gambles. If you watch him play defense, he's very solid. He takes up space. When these point guards now, they want to be able to have space to be able to create. He gives you one direction. You know what?
He anticipates well.
He anticipates well. More importantly, he's very smart. He understands the whistle. He understands hard fouls. He knows when to foul hard, when not to. And on the offensive end, too, he'll hit a three. He's a gutsy player. You know, on the defensive end, he'll take charges. He'll do little tangible stuff that a lot of guys won't do. Man, you need a smart on your team to do the small things if you're trying to really win.
And the smart things, right? Yeah.
The smart things. Yeah. Only you, K-Hard.
No, come on. I just got that from you. What are you talking about? I just heard you said it. I just repeated it right
classic
there.
2K. Classic 2K K-Hard right there. You lit, K. You lit.
Because I'm next to you.
You lit. I'm telling you, lit.
Come on.
Hey.
And he makes the first.
And there's so much that Tatum does well. I mean, he shoots it well, rebounds, passing, playing defense. I mean, he's the complete package.
And he makes both free throws. The Magic trail by 10. And Augustine kicks to Spates. Back to Augustine. Here's Spates. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. Right wing. Here's Tatum. Gets that one to fall after missing his first two. 1 for 3 from the field. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jump?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses. And each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Here's Aflalo following the three-pointer by Boston. 46 seconds left in the first quarter. Just 5 on the clock. From deep. No good on that one. And it's Boston the other way. Pass to Smart. The shot comes out. Simmons with the defensive effort. For Orlando, they won their last contest, that game against Minnesota.
Playing on the road, always a challenge, but it becomes a heck of a lot easier when you can shoot the three ball the way they did.
And, Greg, they were shooting that thing with confidence, boy. Every time they got a clean look from deep, the trigger was pulled. Wow.
Aflalo, no good. Smart. The shot off that time. And so it's Boston, looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. And their ability to get points in the paint has made all the difference in this one. We'll get right back to the action when we return. We caught up with Kyrie Irving earlier, and he talked a little bit about expectations for himself and his teammates.
We expect so much out of each other every single night, and the team is going to go as hard as we go, as well as the other pieces that we have on the team. But we have to control it from a standpoint that we have to play off each other.
Kyrie reminding us that it's not just the expectations of the fans and the media, but also, perhaps the most demanding of all, are the expectations they've got for each other.
Oh, yeah. They're constantly trying to manage expectations while still demanding the best from one another. And I got to tell you, it's fun to watch.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for the Celtics.
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the opening man and getting some easy baskets.
Something else they've done right so far from the get-go tonight is run. I mean, so much of their offense has come off the fast break.
And so in the game for the Magic, we've got Maurice Spates. Aflalo is out there with Isaac. Then it's Simmons. And it's Augustine in at the 1. Here's Yabusele. You saw him with 10 points last game. And where have the shots been coming from tonight? Here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and three-point shot attempts so far for the Magic.
And you can see how important those inside baskets are. This is a team that loves to work the ball inside, whether the entry pass or off of a drive. They like to feed on those high percentage looks.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Smart. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times. Are coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that
like Doc was kind of in between, wasn't he? Little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. Doc, there was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You need to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. Yes. And no play, absolutely. Absolutely. Right. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, that's important.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. And those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. And there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players.
And they have yet to miss a shot from the line here this quarter.
Yeah, you have to make teams pay for fouling you. That's why they call them free. And they've done exactly that, made them pay.
Now here's Spates. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Right now, let's check out the teams with the best free throw percentage. The Celtics second.
It's really a team-wide talent. You want to foul to stop layups, but against them, you're not saving much. They'll make you pay time and again.
First free throw is good. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
And, the speedy Augustine is really an excellent teammate and a dependable role player, a veteran presence who can really stroke it.
And stolen by Irving. Augustine with the steal. Back to Fournier. The shot will not fall. Good work defensively by Morris.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it, gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
Now here's Ross, following the miss by Al Horford. Ross kicks to Fournier. The Magic again can't hit. Boston leading by 13. And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that.
Man,
a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Keep it between us.
Okay. And now the first timeout called here for the Magic. Their last encounter was in Orlando.
And the previous meeting was a win for them and a huge day for the bench. The reserves really stepped it up with their scoring.
Greg, we know how important it is when you can go to your reserves without much drop-off in production. It gives you a big advantage. I know they'd love to see that again tonight.
Celtics making a switch here. Brown's checked in. Then for the Magic, Vucevic checked in for Spates. And it's Elfrid Payton in for Augustine. Irving against Payton. There's the pass to Hayward. Over Ross. Hayward can hit.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Up again. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough. Goodness. Talk about bringing the heat, the thunder, and the lightning on that pound. Brown with that amazing athleticism, putting on a show out there with jams like that.
Now here's Payton. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Gordon. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line. Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG he has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does, sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender. If you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of four guys, one in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fake and go to the basket, make, other passes to guys. Really helped that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his, able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person, too.
Absolutely,
yes.
Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that, when you talk about men, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we all going to be in here speaking as men as it should be.
And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level.
Yeah.
When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Cole go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a one, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo. And nothing's speeding them up. Special players. But I get a front row seat of seeing that. Ray Allen, the same thing. Had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
Irving passes to Hayward. Vucevic with the block.
And with Vucevic, as is the case with all shot blockers, it's about timing. And how can you bait that shooter into shooting a shot that you can block?
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping. Whoa. Watch out now. Well, you know what I like to say, persistence pays, and with Gordon, he's the kind of guy who just does not rest on the glass.
Irving kicks to Hayward. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
Shooting 2.
First one falls for him. And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age.
Cool.
You do not. Do not age.
Man, listen. I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more, and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man.
Thank you.
Man, what's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you, seriously?
Broadcast in the NBA, 20 years, and then 12 years with 2K.
Man, you're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best.
You
understand, my dude? Straight
well,
up,
that's
straight
why
up
we've
and
got
down.
you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you?
Man,
Especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. There's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they ain't got to do this. They know.
The Magic trail by 10. Payton outside. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? How would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked them to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
The Magic trail by 10. And KG, when you were bringing those greats together like you had in Boston, the intersection of you and Doc and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, all these guys together, everything was aligned.
But, you know, you got to go through something to be able to appreciate something. And I like to think that with the joining of myself and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce going to Boston, that we all had to have a journey up until that point and go through something and feel something, and have something feel left out. We all was achieved when we all came together. Awards, countless all-star achievements. But then when it came to total winning and what we all do this for, we was all vacant. And that's what we all shared. And we all shared the same appetite for that, Kev. And I'm telling you, man, when we all got together, we all knew never to let each other down. And we all gave each other 100%.
What a time.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense.
Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it.
Yes.
But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
The putback. It's good on the putback.
He's simply a machine at the offensive end. I wonder how far behind they'd be if he wasn't having this kind of quarter.
Payton against Irving. Picked by Horford. Morris kicks to Horford. Shoots over Vucevic. Horford missing again. The Magic trail by 10. Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star Week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star Week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host, regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city.
If you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, you know 2K is always live, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
And a whole new group out on the floor for the Celtics. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Spates checked in for Vucevic. Isaac comes in for Gordon. Aaron Aflalo, he's checked in for Ross. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Peyton. And that one misses. Terry Rozier taken by the Celtics, 16th pick back in 2015. KG, some were surprised the Celtics had already some defensive-minded combo guards already in Avery Bradley and Marcus Smart if they took Rozier.
I like him, though. No better guards to learn from, you know, with Smart and Avery. And, man, to pass these Jews down to a young Rozier. Yes. Can you imagine, like, progression with this kid and that tenacity? You know, a lot of people don't know he has a little bit of offense to him, too. But naturally defensive, you see the natural ability
That's
right
his
away.
calling card right now, defense.
If I was him, I would lean on that.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
And the Magic making a change here. Simmons is checked in. Pass to Isaac. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Isaac's got 4 this quarter.
And Isaac takes no time getting his shot off. He's got a lethal quick release.
Out to the wing. Rozier, the pass to Yabusele. Takes a 3. Goes back up. And the layup is up and in. Yabusele's got 5 now.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Augustine setting the pick for Simmons. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
Smart passes to Yabusele. Good, and Smart gets the assist. He's got 7.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team.
KG, I know you can't stay any longer. You've got to move on, but we appreciate your time, and it's always great to see you.
Kev, anytime, man. It's great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you let me know, man. I'm yours.
Former MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and champion Kevin Garnett. Always fun to have Kevin Garnett on the set, Clark. You can tell he was in high spirits as usual. Have to respect his continued zeal for the game.
Yeah, he's never lacked for passion or zeal. It's been part of what's made him such a great player, a Hall of Famer in the future. And I don't think that's ever going away. I mean, he's really a kid at heart, and he played the game that way, which was a pleasure to watch. And, man, it's been really cool seeing him do what he did as an NBA player and actually giving back to some of the younger guys that are coming up in the league now.
Now here is Augustine. T right on him. Up top, Simmons. He dishes it to Aflalo. Clock at 6. Good. Aflalo's got his second bucket tonight.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Boy, like his intensity, Greg. He's not afraid to take it straight to the rack on the bigger defender. Right at it.
Here's Smart. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And so it's Boston, enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. Their transition game has been in full effect. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, you're in a good position here at the break. What do you tell your team to make sure they don't let up?
Well, I don't think it's about letting up or playing better, or it's just playing the right way. We just have to play good basketball. And we talked about it before the game. That's our goal going into the game. That doesn't change no matter what the score is. So that'll be the discussion at halftime.
Thanks very much, Coach. Back to you.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Things were going Boston's way from the beginning. Their biggest lead of the opening period during a very exciting run was all the way up to 13 points. By the end of quarter one, they were way out on top, leading by 13. Moving on to the second quarter, their lead was challenged, but never seriously, as they took a 12-point edge into the half. Taking a look at the Celtics, Shaq, what do you think?
The area where they impressed me the most has been on the boards. When the shot's gone up, everybody goes for it. It's just a matter of maintaining that energy, playing with that same kind of aggression in the final two quarters.
How about you, Kenny? What did you think about Orlando?
I was unimpressed, Ernie. Very unimpressed with their offense. You know, guys seem to be going through the motions, not cutting, not hustling. They failed to get back into a great offensive rhythm. They'll need to step it up big in the second half to cut into this lead.
And that will conclude our halftime presentation. We take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
And as we return, we get a look at the Boston skyline. Those drone cameras are really something. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first two quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. A fantastic game from Aaron Gordon in this one.
Unbelievable the way he dominated that offensive glass in those first two quarters. Just a great effort for him for the entire half.
Guys, you've heard me say it before, but persistence pays. And it takes that kind of persistence to be a successful offensive rebounder. As a fellow glass eater, I know of which I speak. Those guys that rebound effectively don't give up on it.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Clark, when you were playing, what was your game day routine like?
Well, it was simple. I didn't complicate things, Kevin. I tried to get a good meal, was just beginning to learn how to eat properly and best for my body. And then I would always try to get an hour to 2 hour pregame nap. That goes all the way back to high school. I enjoyed just getting off my feet. Sometimes I would fall asleep completely. Other times I would just kind of drift into a light sleep. But just having that routine of resting before games was part of how I got ready to try to serve the other guys up.
Third quarter action getting rolling right now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. On the court right now for the Celtics. Warnes is the 4 with Horford in the middle. Irving and Brown pair at the 1 and the 2. And it's Hayward in at the small forward. Vucevic down low. He's against Morris.
Boy, the hustle by Vucevic. I mean, showing real commitment and investment on the glass and finding ways to come up with second chance opportunities for his team. That's very impressive.
And you look at the post-up bangers who don't block shots at a high level. More and more we're seeing teams relegate them to that 6-man role off the bench. It'll be interesting to see how that affects a guy like Vucevic who fits that description.
Shot.
Greg, why is it, do you think, that teams want those more floor-bound, post-up big men like Vucevic coming off the bench?
I think two things. First of all, their defensive shortcomings are less exposed playing against other reserves. Also, their ability to create offense on the block has more value with that second unit because that group tends to have their struggles in terms of scoring the basketball.
Vucevic, a screen on Irving. Ross against Hayward. Here's Vucevic, and a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Vucevic has got 13.
Just a positive force right now for these guys, and though his team has fallen a bit short, it's not because of him.
Horford, no luck.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Brown against Fournier, feeds it to Ross. Down low, here's Gordon. The lead now cut to single digits.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
And you look at Aaron Gordon, one of those culture setters, unselfish, defensive-minded, and Clark, he's a worker.
Yeah, he is that, and he also was very impressive going back to the 2014 draft in the interview process. Made quite an impression. Very precocious young man. A little bit ahead of his time and maturity when you talk about his age now. Stays grounded, even keeled. This guy knows who he is and where he wants to go.
And free throw good from Gordon.
The former Arizona Wildcat, Gordon is a high-motor player who gives great effort out there all the time.
Brown dishes to Irving. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
What a drive there. It didn't bother him at all to have a much taller defender hanging all over. And with all the talk about Kyrie coming to Boston, you still have to figure how he'll fit in to the team. Has this year and next left on his contract, player option after that. But with his scoring and shooting, should make this offense even more potent.
And that one falls for Irving.
And when you put a player of Kyrie's ability into this Boston system, you have to expect good things. Irving does so much for himself and others. The longer he plays with the team, I think the more comfortable he'll become.
Celtics leading by 10. Brown kicks to Hayward. Over Ross. Bank shot, no good.
His shot's just, it's not there right now. With his team leading, perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, the Orlando Magic do have a stacked front court. They've got plenty of size. Head coach Frank Vogel said, in today's small ball NBA, we think we can beat the heck out of teams in the paint. But shooting has been a hindrance. He conceded they might have to win some games, 68 to 65. Kevin?
Going against the grain, D.A. Thank you.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, as they're looking to battle back, that's one of the key elements. You got to rebound.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. And for the young players on the Magic, how much tougher is it to develop when a team is continually changing their coaching staff?
Well, Kevin, we've seen it. I mean, when you have multiple turnover, particularly in key front office or coaching positions, that's very difficult for the players. It's disorienting. 4 different coaches in the last 3 years. At some point, you have to set your anchor and sail accordingly.
And now you see the 2K leaderboard. Not only have these teams caused a lot of turnovers over the last 10 games, but they've scored off them as well. Third spot, the Celtics.
Just a terrific job over this stretch of forcing turnovers and capitalizing. They'd love to continue that trend.
Here's Vucevic. He's off on that one. Good work defensively by Morris. He hits Brown with the drive. And the Celtics franchise with the league-leading 17 NBA championships, their last in 2008.
Yeah, and with the talent and assets they possess, they might be in the hunt for banner number 18 before you know it. One of the beasts of the East, without question.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
That free throw, no good. Clark, when you played, you had some great footwork in the paint. Which big men today impress you with their footwork in the paint, in the post?
Man, I tell you, one of the guys I've always loved watching do his thing inside is Zach Randolph. I tell you what, he grits and grinds as well as anybody, and his touch and footwork exquisite because he's not an overpowering or overwhelming athlete. Karl Anthony Towns much the same way. Fairly low to the ground in how they play, but extremely effective in being able to get the position and shot they want. And Enes Kanter, a guy who's starting to impress with his footwork as well.
Gordon, the pass to Vucevic. And he converts the layup. Vucevic has got 15.
Being that Vucevic is a high percentage shooter, especially from the post and mid-range, it's good to see him being aggressive. He's got to be shot hungry because of his high completion rate. So really taking control of the offense here.
Irving, and another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field. The Magic trail by 13. Payton kicks to Vucevic. Over Morris. The rebound by the Celtics. Up next for them is the Pacers in Indianapolis. That'll be just one game played away from home for them. Ross with the steal, and there's the call on Gordon Hayward. That's his first foul. Orlando's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third, still 0 for 3. Payton dishes to Vucevic. And Ross with the slam!
You know, Terrence Ross is a former dunk contest champion. Ross has major levitation time.
And the replay presented, of course, by Under Armour. Unleash chaos. Great stuff and some great basketball going on. Vucevic with the block. They get it back. Here's Brown. And the shot is long. The Magic trail by 11. Fournier passes to Gordon. No good there, and that would have cut it to single digits. Boston's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Hayward goes in.
And there had been a will he or won't he feeling with Gordon Hayward's free agency. Tough choice, I got to believe, for him to leave Utah, but you can see why he wanted to join forces here with the Celtics.
He'll take his 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the game right here. The first free throw is good.
You know, there's no question about it. Hayward is an exciting player and an athletic forward who can really, really score.
Marcus Smart's checked in for Jaylen Brown. Hayward hits them both. The Magic trail by 13. Vucevic, a screen on Irving. Payton attacking. And Irving pulls it down. Irving's got his 3rd rebound tonight. And Boston was the heavy favorite to sign Gordon Hayward, and ultimately the opportunity was just too hard to pass up.
And he's reunited with his college coach, Brad Stevens. This team has a great path to make a deep playoff run, and this just adds another star to a very balanced roster.
Irving kicks to Morris. He feeds it to Horford. Morris a screen. Horford against Vucevic. Vucevic with the block. Ross with a wide open look. And with that one, the lead is trimmed to single digits.
Man, I like the three-point stroke of Ross. Gets it off so effortlessly. Man, he's got terrific form.
Payton against Irving. Vucevic with the block. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here. And some changes here for the Celtics. Aaron Baines comes in for Al Horford. And it's Rozier in for Irving. Then for the Magic, Flalo comes in for Ross. And Simmons subbed in for Evan Fournier. Here's Hayward. And the layup's good off the glass. Hayward's got 4 points in the quarter.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Yeah, no let up. The killer instinct on display, trying to put this team away. I love the tenacity.
Payton kicks to Gordon. Fires from 14. And that one hits back iron.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Hayward passes to Rozier, and he bangs it home with one hand.
And, you know, Hayward's floor recognition and composure, really impressive. Knows precisely when to pass over to the open man.
Gordon with a screen on Morris. Payton outside. Flalo against Hayward. 5 on the clock. Some nice ball movement by the Magic. Fires at the elbow. Gordon. Great positioning on the putback.
And he is really in a zone right now, playing and scoring with confidence.
Here's Rozier. He has 5. In the corner, Smart with it. And the 3 ball is good. Smart's got 9 points.
Yeah, how about the percentage they're shooting from beyond the arc here in the second half?
Greg, no question about it. They found a nice rhythm from deep.
Payton kicks to Gordon. Now the dish to Vucevic. And Vucevic throws it down.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying annex to narrow the deficit.
Tell you what, fellas, that could give them the energy boost they've been looking for.
Here's Hayward. Good, and Smart gets the assist. And that's 15 points for Gordon Hayward.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, not a lot of effort put forth on defense there. I mean, I think he's definitely got to play up on him more and off the screen in that situation.
Here's Rozier. Can't hit that one. Great D that time from Vucevic. Here's Payton. And the lead is down inside single digits. He has 6.
Really impressive seeing a guy like Vucevic carve up the defense with his peripheral vision and passing. So good at spotting the open man.
And Clark, you were around Coach Frank Vogel quite a bit during his run as head coach of the Pacers. When you look back on it, what stands out?
His preparation. He's an eager learner. He's meticulous in his detail. He's even-keeled and extremely positive. I think he's an outstanding young coach, and good to see him having a team that he can have an opportunity to build and shape into a playoff contender at some point.
Morris with the bucket.
And they've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
The Magic trail by 12. Payton kicks to Gordon. Picked by Vucevic. Back to Gordon. And it's Gordon finishing it off.
The selfless attitude of Vucevic, willing to put his body on the line if it means clearing out space for somebody else on his team to get a clean shot off.
Now a timeout called by Boston. And Clark, you've seen so many college and NBA games. What skill or mindset do you see as the best predictor for when a college player is going to be an NBA star?
Well, it's hard to predict stardom, but clearly things that transfer from a skill standpoint from college to the NBA, at least historically, have been the ability to rebound at a high rate. That seems to always make its way from college to the pro game. And then the proficiency of your skill set in terms of ball handling, shooting, and then I would say at the point guard position, the ability to run a team usually transfers. When you can get other people's shots and understand flow and time and score and situations, that doesn't leave you from the college to the pro game.
Celtics leading by 10. They set the pick. Rozier kicks to Tatum. There's the feed to Smart. Excellent D there from Aflalo.
He has yet to get into the flow of this game. His teammates have done their part, but they need him to pick his game up.
No good from Simmons.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Greg, I just think he was in a hurry. He flat out rushed it. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. He actually was in a brain-neutral position.
And at 6'4", 220, Marcus Smart with terrific strength for a combo guard, Greg.
I mean, he can just flat out bully most guards and even hold his own against the bigs. Beyond, though, that physical stature, it's his mentality that makes him special. He's a fire breather, just the type of player the Celtics look for.
And that one falls for Smart. That one falls, so he hits both of them. There's 31 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Augustine dishes to Spates. 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. The Magic have hit 6 free throws in 10 attempts.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
The first free throw is good. And both free throws good for Spates.
Well, I tell you what, like how cool and collected he was getting the job done at the line in this one.
Here's Rozier. He has 5. Kicks it to Tatum. From downtown, gets the three-pointer to fall. Tatum's got 9.
You know, once he works on a consistent 3-ball and puts that in his toolkit, I think he'll be hard to guard. I like the fact that he's trying to expand his game.
And so it's the Boston Celtics looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. They've got their field goal percentage to thank for that. They've been hot from all over the floor tonight. Right back after this break. Now let's listen in to Frank Vogel's huddle.
Shrink the floor. When you're on the ball or closing out, close out faster. Okay, take away their airspace and then contain their drive.
And that's the catch-22 there. Frank Vogel wanting better perimeter defense, but also wanting to limit forays to the hoop.
Yeah, and it takes tremendous discipline to do that. Don't leave your feet, don't reach, and everyone help each other defensively.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. And so in the game for the Magic, Aflalo is out there with Isaac. Then there's Maurice Spates. Then there's DJ Augustine. And it's Simmons in at the 2. Boston leading by 13. Here's Rozier. Here's Baines. Passes to Rozier. Here's Tatum. And not a good shot for him. They can get better looks than that. Now here's Simmons. Guarded by Smart. No good from Simmons. Boston's gotten the three-point bug tonight. They've taken 15 shots outside the arc. They're 6 of 15.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Brown is checked in for Boston. The Magic trail by 13. Outside, Simmons. Dishes it to Augustine. He kicks it to Aflalo. They set the pick. Shoots off the screen. The Magic again can't hit.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
To the paint. It's stolen. And here comes Augustine late in the fast break. And the shot is good. Augustine's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Magic.
Really easy to appreciate Isaac, Kevin. I mean, a solid teammate who's always ready to share the sugar.
Rozier, the pass to Brown. He dishes it to Baines. Back to Brown. It's deflected. We're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter in this one. Tipped away. The kick out to Aflalo. A three ball. Pass to Spates. Here's Isaac. He gets it to fall. That makes it just a single-digit lead.
Hey, if you're going to get offensive rebounds, you've got to stay active, and Isaac does that, doing a nice job utilizing his reach to snag those second-chance opportunities.
Rozier kicks to Brown. An emphatic LU jam.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Well, I tell you what, they've got this team just a step away from being completely asleep.
Here's Isaac. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws.
Well, you look at Isaac, and all you think he needs to do is add some weight. He's got terrific skills and a promising future.
And let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for the Celtics.
Well, their passing has been picturesque, a thing of beauty in both halves. More than a few of their baskets have come off assists.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
And he can't get the first one.
And the Celtics leadership, very pragmatic. IT and Crowder both beloved in Boston, but they didn't hesitate to move them to get better and younger at the same time.
Al Horford's checked in for the Celtics. Irving comes in for Terry Rozier. The Magic also changing it up. Terrence Ross comes in for Aaron Aflalo. And Evan Fournier subbed in for Simmons. And he sinks the second.
And thinking about the Celtics' choice to get younger, perhaps a strategic move in response to the super team in Golden State, they want to construct their team to peak in a few years when the Warriors start to show a little chink in the armor moving forward.
Boy, I tell you, I don't know if there's anybody better than Kyrie Irving close to the basket. He has a great feel for how to score inside.
And Augustine kicks to Spates. Knocked away. Brown dishes to Horford. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Brown's got his third assist on the night.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Look at the clock. A little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. Now here's Ross. He's guarded closely. Basket counts.
And you're not getting to that now because it's got just the right touch and height. Impossible to block.
Irving against Augustine. Irving passes to Yabusele. Rebound by the Magic. Isaac's got 4 rebounds now tonight. To the inside, Ross. And the layup's good off the glass. Ross has got it back down to within single digits for Orlando. The Celtics have gone 3 of 7 from the floor in the fourth. That's a 42% mark in the quarter. There's a good screen. Brown wide open. He fired. And a miss there on the triple.
Well, I think the defense got really lucky there. I mean, you can't afford to give up wide open shots from deep.
The putback. The rebound by Yabusele. Celtics leading by 9. On the wing, Irving. Headed by Augustine. Shot on the wing. Busted. No good that time either. Orlando's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Fires from 14. No good off the front iron.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Yeah, I like the fact, Greg, that he crowded the shooter there, made him uncomfortable, got into his airspace a bit. It looked like he forced the shot. Boy, I like seeing that toughness on the offensive glass. Did a nice job judging, anticipating where the miss was going, and then putting it back in. Nicely done.
No good from Ross.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg. Great assist that time by Kyrie Irving.
The Magic trail by 13. Pass to Isaac. Spade sets a screen for Ross. Off the screen, and that's good for 2. Ross has got 19 points.
Feasting on the leftovers, eating big time. Ross stepping inside the arc and making it happen.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. I think it's been a long rebuild for the Magic, but they really feel they've got a plan in place.
Well, you've heard the front office talking that they're going to win at least one championship by the year 2030, and I got to say, that's an interesting quote, to say the least. I mean, I have heard of a 5-year plan, but a 13-year plan, I guess you'd call that building for the long term.
Boston making some changes. Morris is checked in for Yabusele, and Gordon Hayward is subbed in for Tatum. Orlando also making some changes. Vucevic checked in for Spates. Gordon comes in for Isaac, and it's Payton in for Augustine. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin. Well, look, here's what Brad Stevens went over with his guys during the break. He was very adamant in the huddle. He said, don't let up now. Stay aggressive and do the things that have gotten us this far. We're almost there, guys.
All right, thank you, David. Ross against Hayward. Off the pick. No good from Ross.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
Irving kicks to Horford. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got 10 assists here tonight. So active.
A top-notch post game is just one of the ways Horford helps his team. One of the more important ways, though, is because he's a tough matchup down low.
And there's the pass to Vucevic. Here's Ross. Not going to go that time. Hayward with some nice D.
Yeah, he's costing them right now, sabotaging them a little bit. He's got to find his shot if they want to win this game.
Ross with it. Now defended by Hayward. Payton kicks to Fournier. Here's Vucevic. And slam dunk by Vucevic.
Although Fournier is known primarily for his shooting, he's a team player who also looks to distribute to his teammates.
Morris with a screen on Payton. Irving drives in. Horford, no luck.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen. Got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
Jumper off the screen. And the shot no good. A bit short.
That's unacceptable shot selection there, Kevin. I mean, why on earth did he think that was a good look?
Out to Hayward, beyond the arc. Hayward missing again.
Well, he had one three-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
And pushing it up, here's Boston. Irving's got the ball. And the layup's good off the glass. Irving's got 13 points in the second half.
Boy, Brown not just a super athlete, folks, but he's got excellent skills as well. A tremendous floor general.
Payton kicks to Vucevic. To the middle. Here's Gordon. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Gordon's got 28.
Outstanding entry pass there. He knew exactly where to go with the ball.
Picked by Horford. Here's Irving. That doesn't go in either for Irving. 3-on-3. No one near Payton as he lets it go. And again, it's Orlando with the three.
Seeing the defense was staying off of him that time, Payton, fully aware of the opportunity, took advantage.
Irving dishes to Hayward. Here's Horford. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Hayward's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. Brown against Fournier. Picked by Vucevic. Now here's Fournier. He's guarded closely. Shoots from 12. And it's Orlando with another.
And Vucevic never plays outside of himself. I mean, when he has a clean look at the rim from the mid-range, he knows he's got the green light to shoot it.
And here is Irving. Morris passes to Irving. Celtics passing it around. Shot clock at 5. Goes up on the wing. Another miss by Irving. The Magic trail by 11. Ross kicks to Vucevic, and Vucevic throws it down.
Ross has earned his reputation as a team-first guy. Excellent at distributing the ball.
Outside Irving. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. The first one falls.
I don't know if there's a player in the league that has better handles than Kyrie Irving. As a matter of fact, his handles are as good as any I've seen in the history of the game. Smooth, crafty, cunning. Man, it is so much a joy to watch this guy do his thing.
Marcus Smart's checked in for Jaylen Brown. The Magic trail by 11. Payton kicks to Gordon. Feeds it to Fournier. There's the dish to Vucevic. And slam dunk by Vucevic.
I tell you what a good thing that he showed up today, because without him, this thing would already be over.
Irving with it. He feeds it to Hayward. Here's Smart. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That one on Vucevic. And the first of 2, no good, heartbreaker. And he does get the second one. And that'll push the lead to double digits. Orlando's gone 2 of 3 in the 4th quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Gordon kicks to Fournier. Here's the screen. Trying to find Vucevic. Gets it to him. Count that bucket. Vucevic has got 10 points in the quarter.
It's obvious down in the paint is where Vucevic is most comfortable, just utilizing his size and strength against anybody who tries to defend him.
Irving against Payton. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. And no good as the first free throw missing for him. We'll see if he can nail the second.
And I really like the uniqueness of Al Horford's game. I mean, he's a big man with a versatile skill set. He makes threes. He can score inside. He defends. He's a guy that is an inside-out matchup problem for most.
And the second of 2 is good. That will put them up by 9. And for the Magic, they're shooting it well here in the fourth quarter, 50%. Gordon kicks to Fournier. The feed to Vucevic. Over Morris. Bounces high off the rim and drops. And it's 29 points for Vucevic.
He's just able to shoot over people at a high rate.
And you were a good defender, Greg, so you tell me, how do you guard that? I mean, the height, the soft release, not a lot you can do against that combination.
Morris dishes to Horford. Kicks to Irving. 6 to shoot. Ring shot on the way. It's good. And the Celtics lead by 9.
And Irving is super aggressive on offense, constantly looking to shoot the ball. I love his mentality.
Time call here. The Magic decide to talk it over. They're behind by 9. 46 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Kyrie Irving.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
Coming into this game, he'd been having a tough stretch. We all know that, but not anymore. He's back at his best, and I think it's safe to say that slump is over. And a new group in for the Celtics. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Horford. Yabusele comes in for Marcus Morris. Tatum, he's checked in for Gordon Hayward. And it's Rozier in for Kyrie Irving. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Spates checked in for Aaron Gordon. Flalo comes in for Ross. Simmons checked in for Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. Here's Tatum. Good, and Smart gets the assist. And now an 11-point Celtic lead.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Exactly. Cold-blooded. Separation solidified. Great effort.
They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
And guys, Sade comes to mind for me because right now that offense, it's a smooth operator.
Here's Rozier. And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. And once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
You know, I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. You know, just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in, and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. So long.